The kindness he mistook for weakness. I loved you with the kind of love that makes you stupid. The kind that makes you believe that if you just love hard enough, long enough, selflessly enough, it will eventually break through whatever walls you've built around yourself. I believed in redemption arcs. I believed in the power of patience. I believed in you. And you looked at all of that. Every gentle word, every second chance, every time I chose understanding over anger, and you saw weakness. You saw an opening. I remember the first time you took my kindness and weaponized it. I had asked you gently, so carefully, not to do something that hurt me. I didn't demand. I didn't threaten. I simply expressed how I felt, vulnerable and honest, hoping you'd care enough to change. And instead of hearing concern, you heard an invitation to push further. You saw my openness as a lack of boundaries. You mistook my tenderness for permission. It became a pattern, a rhythm. I would be kind, and you would test just how far that kindness would stretch, how much disrespect it could absorb, how many times I'd forgive before I finally broke. I stayed soft when I should have gotten hard. I kept my heart open when you kept proving you didn't deserve the key. Every time I chose gentleness over anger, you interpreted it as me accepting less. Every apology I offered, even when you should have been apologizing, became evidence in your mind that I was the problem, that I was weak, that I was easy, that I would always bend. The worst part? You were right. I did keep bending, but not because I was weak. I bent because I loved you. There's a difference, though you'd never understand it. Love isn't weakness. It's actually the hardest thing a person can do. It's choosing someone day after day despite evidence that they don't choose you back. It's believing in someone's potential when they've given you no reason to. It's pouring from an empty cup because you believe they're worth the drought. But you didn't see love. You saw pathology. You saw someone broken enough to accept your broken pieces. You saw kindness and thought it meant I wouldn't leave. You saw my patience and thought it meant I had infinite reserves. You saw my forgiveness and thought it meant there were no consequences. You saw my vulnerability and used it as a map to all the ways you could hurt me most effectively. And the thing that makes me angrier than anything else? You probably still think I'm the one who's weak for finally walking away. You probably think love means fighting. You probably think strength means being cruel. You probably believe that kindness is just another word for stupid. And that's the saddest part. You've confused love with weakness so thoroughly that when someone actually loves you, when someone actually chooses you, when someone actually believes in you, your first instinct is to test it to its breaking point. You needed to prove it wasn't real. Because if it was real, that would mean you were worthy of something real. And that's too terrifying for someone who's spent their whole life running from intimacy. I was kind because I saw the best in you. I was patient because I thought you were worth the wait. I was gentle because I believed gentleness was what you needed to finally feel safe enough to love back. I was all of those things, and none of it was weakness. The weakness was yours, the inability to receive love without destroying it. The fear that made you cruel. The insecurity that made you punish kindness. The emptiness that made you assume everyone else's fullness was an illusion. I loved someone who didn't deserve it, and I stayed far too long trying to love them into deserving it. That's not weakness. That's the cruelest kind of strength.